You are listening to the Last Day Radio Show on Advent Sports Network.
Back on the Last Day Radio Show, I'm with Patrick Green, Twyla Ryder. We're getting in deep, talking about the top hip-hop albums in the history of the genre. So really looking at the greats, the Ready to Die, the Chronic, the Pimp or Butterflies, etc. Twyla and I agree, and Aquemeni, Twyla and I agree that the Pimp or Butterfly, although it's new, it's something that came out in 2015, so it's difficult to compare eras, but we agree that lyrically, it's so much superior to other pieces of work. Patrick disagrees. I want to get in my 2 cents. One of the things, and I have the luxury of having the track listing for To Pimp a Butterfly up. The different styles that he uses, and I can't get into all of the quoting for the language because this is a swear-free show and network. But there's a song called For Free where basically Kendrick is rapping over a jazz scat type beat. And he's basically saying to white America, what I bring to the table as a black man is not free because of the 400 years of institutionalism, but he's comparing America to his wife or his girlfriend. So like he's having an argument with his girlfriend, but he's really comparing that relationship to America. He has another song which is really, really deep when you go into it. It's called Mama, and it actually has the best, to me it's the best track. I use that track. It's a track by kind of a beatsmith out of LA called Knowledge. The song is called Mama. He's actually talking about a trip that he made to Africa, and he's referring to Africa as his mama as a black man. And he went to Africa after becoming famous, and he saw people that were in Africa. He uses a quote where he met a kid that was kicking a football around, and he says that he had ashy black ankles, and he's describing this poverty-stricken person. But metaphorically, he's saying Africa's our real home. America's not our real home. The booziness and the perks that we have as being American, that's not our real home. The true home is the cradle of civilization. He has a song, How Much a Dollar Costs, that Twyla talked about. He has a song called Complexion, or it's an actual song where he's saying that it's beautiful to be dark. It's not, you don't have to have light eyes. You don't have to have straight hair. Your dark skin is beautiful. Your nappy hair is beautiful.
Can I just interject here too, James? Can I just interject?
You got it. It's yours. I'm done.
Because even that song is a nod to the 60s of the Black is Beautiful movement.
Right.
He not only just takes like references from 90s hip hop and 80s hip hop and early 2000s hip hop, but he goes all the way back to P-Funk in the early 80s and 70s, and he goes back to the 60s of the Black is Beautiful movement, James Brown, and I'm Black and I'm Proud. He gets.
But ever though?
But when you compare it to Nas, Patrick, Nas's portrayal of the street life was awesome. What it's like growing up in New York, what it's like being a brother on the Ave, slinging it, what it's like being in the hood.
Think the album is better than any of my 5.
Wow.
To be honest with you,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think you guys are hyped because it's current.
No. Don't get me wrong.
We won't be talking about this album.
Okay. I literally painstakingly had to go ahead and give it to him because my favorite album of all time besides this is Aquemeni.
Right.
That's my
and
favorite.
And Aquemeni is what, 97, 98? When did Aquemeni come out?
Like 98. And the reason
they kicked in the door. I would even rather you said that than
Well, let me tell you, and that's what I'm saying. That's what makes this. That's why I know this album is so amazing, because I had to like compare it to, like, for me, my favorite album of all time for several reasons. Part of it is sentimental. Part of it is like part of it is just like legit on like a MC.
I'm scared to hear who your top 5 MCs are. I know that's a whole another show, but
that's another show.
But you gotta invite me back on here, Jay. I'll argue with y'all about that.
But
I mean, to be a top 5 MC, you gotta have a body of work. Like, one great album doesn't make the top 5 all time.
Right.
Right. Okay. I agree.
Right. But like even Aquemeni, like if you look at the lyrical content in Aquemeni, it was very current at that moment. It was dealing with what was going on in Atlanta and its region, its southern region. It was, it was talking about educated college kids, because that's who, Outkast catered to, really, was just like, college, these black college kids, in Atlanta and in Alabama and in Tennessee. That was their audience. It reached.
So you're saying it's an all-around album and it's reaching everybody.
But that's to me. It, like, not only does it, I look at it from several different angles. A, his flow is amazing. B, his lyrical content is not only current but educational
and spiritually uplifting.
And spiritually uplifting.
And it's uplifting as an African American.
Right. It's not trap music. It's not. He's not talking about dealing and hustling, and there are remnants of that. But he's like, yo, let's get higher. Like, we're better than that. It's so uplifting. It's so positive. It's so like, let me get my life right, and not even.
Do you think because currently, like these lyricists now, I mean, it's almost like I'm using a comparison with sports. We look at Kobe Bryant now. He's slowed down. He's retiring. He's out of it. These guys are jumping out the gym bigger. They're faster. Is it the same thing with hip-hop, with rap? Like you say, all right, maybe this is just the time. Maybe are people getting better?
No,
I don't think so. I think the new generation is whack. I think they're terrible. I didn't hear Pimp Butterfly when it came out. I didn't get to it until like 4 months later, because I was like, oh, this Kendrick Lamar dude, like, I'm not going to waste my time listening to that. He's probably like Drake. He's probably like some of these other young dudes that are out here. No, I'm not feeling Drake at all. He's talented, but he's terrible.
So you put him in the Lauryn Hill bag. He's an R&B singer or he's a rapper?
I think Lauryn Hill is more of a man and tougher than Drake.
Dang.
Wow.
I'm not, no diss to Lauryn Hill. I mean, Lauryn Hill's a beautiful woman, but I'm saying, like, I think in the booth, like, if I had to go hard in the paint, if I had to go to war, I would take Lauryn Hill with me before I took Drake. Drake is a fanboy and a fabrication. Drake used to play Wheelchair Jimmy on Degrassi High. Like, he's the ultimate fraud. Wow. But I mean, he's talented. He put him with an audio tune. He's talented.
He stays in his lane. He
does stay in his lane, and I think that's.
You see what he did to Meek, right?
Yeah, but Meek Mill's terrible though. He's not even a person. Like, that's like if me and you were rapping. Like, that doesn't. Like when Jay and Nas were going at it, that was like classic Titans. Like him.
That was heavyweight.
Him whipping up on Meek Mill. That's just like picking on the dude in your class that can't defend himself. I mean, that's.
What about Beans and Jadakiss? Who's better?
Ooh.
And we're going off on a tangent. I mean, that's like
that
saying who's better, a C+ rapper or a C-.
No, who won that battle?
I would say that Beans won, but Jada's probably better. Jada's still in the game. Isn't Beans like been shot like 10 times and in and out of jail? I mean, Jada just dropped a pretty solid album for an old guy last week. Wasn't that bad?
Yeah, the album was tight. I like that.
Yeah, top 5 General Live.
I totally don't agree with y'all. I still love y'all as y'all my family, but I totally don't think that's the best album ever. Like,
well, as we kind of get to the end of the segment, I mean, we can agree to disagree. I'll say this, and I'll let Pat, you do your two, and I'll let it all go out. When I heard To Pimp a Butterfly for the first time, like, it has 16 tracks. And when you get to like track 11, 12, you're like, yo, this dude's about to throw a perfect game. Like, this joint could be the best ever. And you're, like, rooting for him to not have 3 bad songs at the end that keep it from being the best ever. It's the first album I've ever heard that when I first heard it, I stood up in my apartment and I clapped. As if I was at a movie. Like, I stood up.
No,
I gave this man a standing ovation. I'm just curious as we kind of get to the end of the segment.
I've been around you since we were kids, and I know you listen to other albums that's hotter than that.
I thought the same thing. It's not. I didn't go into it. I wasn't a fan of Good Kid, Mad City. I'm not someone that's been.
Like I know you said you was like 8 years old.
True that. You knew me when I first started bumping rap.
There is no way in the world that you've applauded other albums like that. You had to.
I haven't.
I'll say this. I have applauded other albums like this, but just because you were like, oh man, like I said, I felt like Aquemeni for me was my favorite album ever in hip hop. Okay. My top 3 was Illmatic, Aquemeni, and at first Aquemeni was number 1. Ask James. Aquemeni was number 1, Illmatic was number 2, and Pimp Butterfly was number 3. But never once did I question should it be in my top 3. And then when I really listened to all 3 albums over again, it had nothing to do with current, because honestly, the musicality in To Pimp a Butterfly is timeless, just like Illmatic and just like Aquemeni. It's not one of those, this was what was hot and it had like a Pharrell beat in the background, or you know what I mean?
Right.
None of those were like that, which, by the way, Jay-Z's stuff was like that. You know what I mean? Like, you could pick out what producers did what. You know what I mean? All 3 of these albums were like tight, like timeless.
I think it's a dope album. It's a dope album. I think I'm looking at it from a artist perspective. Like, I'm looking at it like he doesn't have that much time in the game, and I shouldn't look at it like that.
I am not looking at it like that. Yeah.
See, I think that's how I'm kind of looking at it from that angle. I'm just like, nah, I'm not giving you that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, he can't. No. I just think listening to it, I think it's hot. I think it's dope. But to me, it is not. It's not even better. It's not better than Illmatic.
So Ohio State lost to Michigan State this weekend, 17-14. They played really bad, but they're still better than you. And I just wanted to be clear that the Ohio State University, we still have 8 national championships. We still have 8 Heisman Trophy winners. So you can be mad and bitter. All of the people that follow this show, the people that follow me personally on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever, you can make fun of Ohio State. I said that when they lost, I would rip them. Ezekiel Elliott only carried the ball 12 times. That was an embarrassment. It was a very poorly coached game. The team unraveled. Zeke said he's going to the NFL. He basically said Urban Meyer sucks as a coach. Cardell Jones basically echoed that sentiment, that the coaching is not very good, and he's also going to the NFL. So you can make fun of Ohio State if you want. That's fine. My point is we're better than you. So, boys, if you're listening to this and you have a Virginia Tech sweatshirt on, we're better than you.
The Lance J Radio Show is taped at Advent Sports Network Studios, located in beautiful Emerald City of Seattle, Washington.